Hey, this is Ruben Lowing. It's Saturday afternoon here in McAllen, Texas. I'm in Christopher McCullough Memorial Park taking a walk. Actually, I ran 2 miles. This is my leadership talk, by the way. So I hurt my knees and my ankles. It's going on a year and a half ago, maybe a little longer than that, and I thought I was done. I thought I was, that was it. I'm over the hill, I'm broken. And then I kept walking every day, and then our church every year, the pastor's got us doing this Daniel fast. What a Daniel fast is, you don't eat meat or processed food or dairy. You eat fresh, green leafy protein, good stuff. No sugar, no soda, nothing processed. Well, I started doing a little running. So I'd walk a mile, run a mile, walk a mile. And then I did 2 miles and walked a mile. And then just the other day, a couple days ago, so it's Saturday now, so it would have been Thursday. I was expecting pain, right? But it was kind of weird. After the first quarter mile, I didn't have any pain no more. I'm like flying. Am I full out running? And I'm like, oh wow, check that out. See, we have this. It's this your subconscious programming, okay, will scare you into inaction. All right, it'll keep you from doing those things that you need to do to get out of your situation, get you out of your status quo. Okay, and that goes with everything. It goes with it's the weirdest thing. You get somebody, they pay their $100, they get their code number, and then they might go and do the fast start meeting. And then, so what's that? What do we do? Okay, we have to have a license to make money. Got to get your life and health license first. Okay, and you can do a lot with that. All right, and a lot more than you used to. And so it's, depending on which program you get into, it's like, it could be $100, $40, right, or 25, depending on the program you're using for studying. Okay. Well, then you have to pay for your test, schedule your test, and then you have to, I want to say like $70, $80, I can't remember. And then you got to, you got to register in the state that you passed the test. You got to register your license, and that's not a whole bunch, right? And then that's like, I want to say $40. Oh yeah, you got to get your fingerprints, right? That might be like another $40. And but then you're licensed, right? So that's a license to make money, right? Then you have to do your, but before, you don't have to wait. You do your marketing, okay? So you pull out every contact you have in your phone, and this gets telling. Get to tell you, plus how you led your life. You know, how credible do people think that you are, that you know already, right? See, we're all in a pecking order. And, you know, a lot of times there's a lot of people ahead of us in line. It's like you're standing in the lunch line. And if you get out of line, people don't like that, right? And they'll want to hold their place in line. They want to keep you in your place in line, all right? Well, you don't have to stay in line. But when you get out of line, a lot of people don't like it. In fact, very few people do. Very few people are going to help you move up, all right? All right? And so then, you know, you just expose what you're doing to everybody you know, and you may have people doubting you, you may have people turning you down, you may have people, you know, telling you, you know, raining on your parade, and you got to be strong enough to get past that, because if you're not, you won't. Right? But once you do, the world opens up to you. Bernadette Kim says this. She says it's like you got to push. It's like you're a nuclear bomb, right? And you push against the atmosphere, all right? And then all of a sudden it comes back, whoom, right? And that's what happens when you keep pushing, all right? And you keep going no matter what somebody says or does, or how they, you know, you don't let them stop you. You leave a wake is what you end up doing. Okay. But you got to do that. All right, I got 360 some names of warm market prospects on my list, right? And I've been making them warmer all the time using the campaign manager, right? And I got them, you know, promoting the campaign and the Saving Your Future book, right? And using the counter. So, yeah, that's how I did it, right? Then the next thing you do, so you get your license, all right? You got your market set up, right? And you know, you get your marketing, right? And then the next step is get out in the field. It was really funny because I did it right on accident the first time. I had this young guy come and you know, call me up, and my company was Abundant Funding Mortgage. I was the first one in the phone book. And he's going, "How's business?" I'm like, "Oh, a little slow, isn't everybody?" He goes, "Not ours." I'm like, "What are you doing?" "That's what I want to talk to you about. We're going to do a presentation in Mission Valley tomorrow at noon." I go, "Free lunch?" He goes, "Yep." I go, "I'm there." Well, it was just sandwiches, you know, like deli sandwiches, and you know, a soda. And they did this presentation, and I had all these clients. You know, I'd helped them with their credit. I was a debt management consultant before I got in the mortgage real estate business, and I'd help a lot of these people get it together so they qualify for the good financing and get into their house. And but I knew they weren't going to make it to the promised land with their retirement. And when I saw this, I'm like, "Oh, this is it. This is it," right? And my whole strategy was to take this young guy out. You know, he gets some business, and then I'd ask for some referrals, and I got referrals. But he made $30,000 that month. I'm like, "Oh, I need to pay attention." Well, my dad died. My dad was a farmer. He was so tight that he squeaked. And but he loved money. He taught me, you know, the difference between good debt and bad debt. Good, you know, bad debt's like a credit card. Interest rate's so high, the payment's so low, you'll never pay it off. And the things you buy with it, you know, they lose value as soon as you take them home. You know, it says the good debt is, you know, like if you need to buy a tractor or a combine, it's smarter for him to work and save, to buy that piece of equipment cash. With inflation, just keep it this far out of his reach. If that was the case, he'd finance that piece of equipment, put it to work to make more money to pay that loan off faster. And that was my story. That's how I got a lot of business, right? Telling that story. Well, I remember him, I got my 401k, and it was the peak of the .com. And I'm like, what goes up's got to come down. And so I didn't invest in tech stocks or the NASDAQ, QQQ. I went Home Depot, Walmart, and Disney. And he's like, those are good. Walmart's got good prices. People are gonna, shop there. They're gonna, especially if there's in a recession. And he says, then, Home Depot's good. People always be fixing up their houses. He says, whether they're selling their house or buying a new one, they're going to be going there and getting stuff to do stuff to their house. He said, but your real buy is Disney, because the Asians are so heavily vested with entertainment stocks, but their economies, hit the skids, and so now they're letting that go. They're selling it, so that's on sale. I'm thinking, Dad, do you got cable? Are you watching Bloomberg? How do you know this? He's like, I read the financial news every day. I got to find out whether is Russia buying or selling? Do I need to grow corn or do I need to grow wheat? In fact, what I just told you, I read that in Mechanics Illustrated. Okay. He loved it that I was in this business. And then my dad died. My dad got H1N1 at the end of 2009. Same thing that's killing people right now with COVID. That's the component of COVID that's killing people, is the H1N1 of it, part of it. And that's what took out my dad. And I went to his funeral, and I came home, and the thought that he loved it that I was in this business, all right, sparked me. And I scaled to 4 appointments a day, 10 days in a row. And I only wrote business with 3 families. It was 6 pieces of business. Husband, wife, husband, wife, husband, wife. My commission was 66,000 points. So one of them policies was like over $1 million. He had like 3 or 4 policies with Knights of Columbus. I actually got him a variable universal life for like 1.2 million for less than he was paying for 2 whole lives and 2 terms with Knights of Columbus. All right, but I did 66,000 points in got paid commission 4 days, $9,000 commission. All right, and I'm like, yeah, I did it. I turned the corner. All right. My wife came back from vacation, told me she wanted a divorce. It was an overwhelming depression I went into, and it took me a while to come out of that. And what did it for me was started eating right. And I got to thank my second ex-wife for getting me. She has this, I still eat kind of that way today. Instead of a tomato, cucumber, carrots, and celery with dressing on it, I'll have avocado, because tomatoes cause inflammation, and I get tired of that. I don't like my joints hurt no more. I have an avocado, which is an anti-inflammatory. Celery, which is an anti-inflammatory. Carrots, and a cucumber. And that's what that's my lunch every day, pretty much. And but I started working out more. I started getting reducing my joint pain, and then we split. And I went to Reuben's Grocery, and Ugo educated me on the acid alcohol imbalance in your diet. And I started taking buying the Reuben Superfood Smoothie in my fruit smoothie every morning. And then, of course, started doing this last year with the, I'm walking around going, I ran the marathon, you know, I was like, I broke Jack LaLanne's push-up record. I did all this stuff. I'm like, what turned it around? And it was the change in diet. And I was telling that to one of my associates. She's a computational biologist, one of the smartest people I know. And she told me that, you know, there's a direct correlation between diet, nutrition, and mental health. Okay. So you get somebody who's in the funk, see what they're eating. See if they're drinking sodas. All right, see if they're eating out. Eating, you know, fast food, or, you know, going to the drive-thru all the time. I'll bet you that's what it is. All right. And when you feel good, you know, it radiates from you, and other people pick up on it. All right. When you have confidence, other people get confidence in you. All right. And I'm seeing that happening right now. And this whole using the counter, you know what? And the campaign manager, you know, tickling them and, you know, touching on them. All right, and it's not a cold call anymore. That's the fastest way to turn cold market into warm market. All right, just putting out good information, right? All around. The Transamerica's wealth and health community lives here. All right, bye-bye.